Hello, good morning. This will be my second video. Had to redo it actually because yesterday I went over 15 minutes and I just had a nightmare trying to upload it, so I kind of gave up. Actually, I can talk a lot more than I gave myself credit for, so I ended up waffling. But basically, what happened is in the past week, from the date of my first video, I went shopping, went to quite a number of stores. I researched a bit on YouTube, like where do people go in Japan. Obviously, in the first video I mentioned Book Off, and in between then and now, I researched and I found a shop called Hard Off, which is the same company, but just a huge outlet basically that sells secondhand stuff, and it's just full of retro stuff. It was just like heaven, really. It was amazing. But so basically, I researched all this stuff and I ended up going to a place called Hard Off, which people watching this perhaps be familiar with. It was just crazy, full of consoles, pads, cables, boxed games, hundreds, if not nigh on 2,000 games. It was pretty impressive. So I walked in and I saw an Australian guy there, who was just randomly just there, and we struck up a bit of a conversation, like what do you do and what are you doing here? Not in Hard Off, what are you doing in Japan and stuff. And turns out he's got 2 kids and all he does is sell games full time. So, you know, there's money to be made, I guess. I didn't realise too much because of the price of the games here are so cheap, and they're quite cheap on eBay, so I thought the margins were small, but no, I surprised myself a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to get straight into the games because yesterday, yeah, I went over a bit talking. So I went in to Hard Off and I went straight for the Super Famicom, Super Nintendo stuff, because that's my first love, really. So there were loads of games. There was Final Fantasy V, Final Fantasy VI, all boxed, not in perfect condition, but in good condition, you know. So anyway, I ended up buying 2 boxed games. So this was the first one. Obviously, lots of people know what it is. Dragon Ball Z. Boxed in pretty good condition. I mean, not bad at all. Boxed with the manual and the cartridge all in there. So for that, 500 yen to $5, or £3 roughly. So that was the first one. Second one I picked up was another Dragon Ball Z game. I bought these because I don't believe they were ever released anywhere except for Japan. So they're kind of like unique to Japan. So it's good to pick up stuff like that, you know, because you can pick up the same stuff that's just in Japanese, and it seems kind of pointless, especially if you played it before on a PAL or NTSC console. Personally, I've still picked up loads of stuff actually that I've played before, but I still want to like try some new stuff and have some new stuff as well. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, Dragon Ball Z is a cool sort of brand. So I don't know much about anime, but you know, it's cool and it looks good. Anyway, I love the animation. I like the Japanese boxes. Super Famicom. They're normally in good condition as well. So you could buy loads of box games for cheap over here. It's unbelievable compared to Europe and America. You know, it'll make your eyes water, make you cry. So yeah, they were the first 2 purchases I made there, and then I came across an expansion pack for N64. That was $1. I mean, I remember them being $10 or £15 anyway in the UK. £10. So $1, and that will come in handy for games like Donkey Kong 64 and was it Ocarina of Time? Majora's Mask that needed the expansion pack. I'm not sure. Can't remember. So yeah, and the next purchase I made was this, which was just in next door, which is Legend of Dragoon. I never liked it. It wasn't my type of RPG, to be honest. It never really. Oh, meet my friend Mr. Donkey. Have you seen him? Yeah, he's just behind me. He's just very interested in retro games as well, so he just kind of peers through the window. I can't control him. He's on medication. Poor sod. So, yeah, this game I never really got. It seemed like a fake RPG to me. It might sort of grate on some people, but yeah, I had to turn it off. But I did give it 10 hours, you know, but it just didn't do anything for me. It felt really weird. But I bought 3 of these, all for $1 each. So there you go, 3 Legendary Dragoons. I mean, you'd have to be a lunatic to buy 3 of these in the UK or in America, because it would just cost you too much. But $3, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's seriously just unbelievable. So when I spoke to that Australian guy in Hard Off, I said to him, because I didn't know where to go, where to find games, because I wanted to find the best places, the cheapest maybe, but the best anyway, well stocked. And if they're super cheap, then it's great. Obviously, it doesn't matter what kind of it does matter what kind of stock they have. But even if they have any Super Famicom games that are really cheap, you could just start buying just little bits and pieces. You know, if they're super cheap, like $1 each, why not? So he suggested a place called Acb, which is ACB. It's a flea market, which is translates into a flea market, I guess. Well, it must be. So that was on the way home. I was with my wife and my son. I sort of suggested that we go to Acb, take a little detour. So we ended up going there, and yeah, I was really happy that I made that choice, because I got some really cool stuff in there. I mean, there was what was that? There was loads of loose Super Famicom carts. There were loads of PS1 games. There were PS2 games, but I didn't buy any PS2 games this time. Because they're not as good, are they? Really. So yeah, went straight in. It was all scattered all over the place. There was a video games cabinet, but then there were CDs and there were games with the CDs, and then I found another game somewhere else next to DVDs and stuff like that. So it was great that you had to look, because some people might have. There was about 4 or 5 different places where video games were in this place. So I really did go out of my way to try to, scavenge, and I'm glad I did in the end, because I found 2 of my favourite games, which are in Japanese, of course, but 2 of my favourite games, Suikoden 1 and Suikoden 2. Now, I got Suikoden 1 for 55 yen, which is about 30p, which of course is just like ridiculous. And then I got this for $1, so 60p, or just super cheap. Both with their manuals, both discs in good condition, both in working order. Yeah, unbelievable. 2 of Konami's greatest titles, by easily. So yeah, got those. Very obviously over the moon with those. For $1.50. So yeah, I found some others as well. I found Police Noughts, which is an interactive cinema game, as it says on the box. And if we turn it around, you can see it's kind of funky. It's got like manga robots and stuff like that. Looks like Xenogears a little bit. Well, I'm sure it doesn't play like Xenogears. But yeah, Police Noughts. Don't know what it is. Looks okay. Looks cool, but it might play crap. And then the obligatory. Police Noughts, by the way, 55 yen, 30p. Final Fantasy 9, complete with manual, 4 discs. That's the game art on the discs. I think it's the same. Or is it the same? Someone tell me, please. But yeah, $1. $1 for Final Fantasy 9, which is I'm actually playing through at the moment, but in English. So great game. Final Fantasy 8, probably my favourite Final Fantasy. This was also $1, and this is the game art on the CDs, which is definitely different to the European version, which was kind of like this on the European discs. And there's the game art for discs 3 and 4, which they've all been put in order, not by me, by someone with more OCD than I am. Oh, the spine cards in there, cool. So yeah, even the instructions are mint. I mean, this is $1 as well. It's just ludicrous. And I found some game that I'd never heard of before, Acb-ing, which is how it's written. And I loaded it up actually, and it's got some funky music, and the characters speak. There's voice acting in it, and it's like blah, blah, they're in a classroom. It's very Japanese, very Japanese. But it's funky, very funky. It's weird, so it's worth a look. You know, if you want to just play a weird game for fun. So yeah, have a look at that. It will just like take you into that Japanese mindset of just high school kids in their fantasy land, I guess. So here you go. SNK Fatal Fury, which was a beat 'em up, I think. Was it? Somebody tell me if it was a side-scrolling beat 'em up for the Super Nintendo, or was it just a 2D beat 'em up? Because I don't remember. I know there was Fatal Fury Special and Fatal Fury 2, Fatal Fury 1. But yeah, I don't really remember. But obviously, Fatal Fury, reasonable games. Apparently, the best ones were on the Neo Geo, which I've never had a Neo Geo. Never played a Neo Geo, sadly. I've always been too poor. But yeah, here we go. So that was, AOTO was $1. This was also $1. So $1. This I forgot to mention this. This was from Hard Off. So I bought this from Hard Off. Chocobo Dungeon from Squaresoft, $1, mint condition. I mean, it's in perfect condition. It's very pretty. Look, the spine cards in there, the discs, like, it's just gorgeous. $1 as well, and this game's very rare by PAL standards. I think it's reasonably rare in Japan as well. I mean, it obviously didn't sell as well as Final Fantasy. So yeah, ACB. So that was all the PS1 games. Now, I found one Super Nintendo game. Boop. Obviously, probably one of the best. Up there with. I like Shadowrun for the Super Nintendo and Secret of Mana, Final Fantasy 6. Obviously, Mario and Super Mario Kart and Rock and Roll Racing and any other decent platformer that I haven't mentioned. But yeah, Final Fantasy 6 is one of the best games, obviously. But 55 yen, so 30p for that. It's just ridiculous. So really happy with that as well. And last but not least, I found Mother Free, which is, of course, Earthbound 2. Now that was $1 as well, and that was probably my best buy because it sells for like $40. So that's quite a hefty profit if I sell it. So yeah, that's pretty cool, you know. So obviously, great day. Managed to find some outstanding buys. I bought myself a Super Famicom as well for 200 yen, which was like $1, but it didn't work. Surprise, surprise. But I got all the cables and the pad, power cable, TV cable, AV cable, all for about 1,200 yen, so about £6. But the power pack works, the SCART lead works. It's 1,400 yen, so about £7 or £8. But yeah, it didn't all work. Anyway, that's the end of the video. I'm about to hit 15 minutes. Thanks again for watching if you're a second watcher, but keep in contact and I'll get the next one out there soon. Thanks. Bye bye.